I think maybe we have a logo bottom, though it's not confirmed. Yeah, I was just talking about that in my live stream just before I hop onto this live stream with you, Fernando. So I was looking at the chart and there's like the rising channel forming. So I told my community about 111K, so 111K as the potential support level, and looks like we are bouncing back rather well. So okay, we bounced from 111 to 113, like a little over 113. Looks like we have like hourly candles close about that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. So maybe we have found a local bottom, but like nothing is certain for Bitcoin. As I always say, even if we lose that as support, it's not the end of the day. We still have the 50-week moving average as support. So, I don't know, like I'm thinking maybe now that we're towards the end of September, maybe the last week of September, or even carry to all the way to the first week of October, we might have like consolidation period or even like a slight dip. I wouldn't be surprised because that's what we saw in 2024 as well. So we'll see.
Hello, this is the Bitcoin Libertarian, and here we are again with Gemmy, Gem Crypto. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing great. We have a typhoon in Hong Kong. That's why everyone is staying put. We're cooking at night. I think the transportation is stopping, in especially in China. I just watched the news. It sounds very serious.
Yes, I'm watching from my window here, and there are no, the bus are not working. The MTR, I think, is still working, but I think that if they issue, now is signal number 8, and if they issue signal number 9, as my MTR is in open area, the MTR stops working. So for all the people who is watching from outside Hong Kong, that probably is the big, everyone, we are facing tonight and tomorrow. We are waiting for the super typhoon. I don't remember the name, but seems to be one of the strongest typhoon that has affected the city. So we are waiting. We are inside house. We went to buy a lot of food and let's see what happened. So let's see what happened. But as we are at home, we don't have any other option to be here, study Bitcoin, and keep doing videos and a lot of content about Bitcoin. So this week didn't happen so much in the last days after the announcement of the rate cuts that was as expected 0.25%. But on Monday, there was a huge drop on Bitcoin price, and people is like, as it happens, and when it happens, people go crazy. Especially what I heard that most of the people said, but gold is every day a new all-time high, and Bitcoin is moving sideways and even crashing the price. What is going on, Jimmy?
Yeah, so the thing with Bitcoin is that the narratives keeps changing. Some people think is digital gold is safe haven asset, but like the narratives flip so much because Bitcoin has only been around for 16 years, while gold has been around for centuries. Like emperors around the world, like historically speaking, has always treated gold as something valuable, safe haven asset. And what we witness for especially the past two or 3 years is that okay, wars broke out, and then there's so much geopolitical tension rising, and people usually flock to the so-called safe haven asset and a hedge against the local currency. So gold is definitely on the table as one of the options, while Bitcoin sometimes is being treated as risk on asset, sometimes it's being treated as risk off asset. So I will say what I witnessed is the narratives flip so extreme. It almost pull a 180. It depends on the narratives that people are talking. Right now, Bitcoin, I will say, is still neutral, is in between. I will say Bitcoin isn't doing as bad as I thought. Like even though, because for the past 24 hours, what we witnessed is that a huge liquidation being took place. So it's actually the biggest one in 2025, more than $1.5 billion being liquidated. And also we have some FUD from the Fed FOMC guy I got tagged from some of the posts by my community, and then there's this guy saying that there's only one rate cut throughout the whole 2025, and that is like some thought in the market. But I was really surprised that Bitcoin managed to hold its level. I shared the chart a little bit in my previous live streams with Roxum and also on my own YouTube channel, Gemmy Crypto. So we are using 111K as a really nice support level. We are bouncing back that support level. And yeah, I mean, I was surprised even seeing this amount of thought, this amount of money being liquidated. Bitcoin is still holding rather well.
Yes, and besides, we need to think that always September, as I showed in the past, September is the worst month in returns for Bitcoin. We see that is an average of minus 3% on September. And we are over, even though with the last dip, we are over 4% of return in September. So September is still now doing well. And I also heard about the tariff, the rate cuts, that there was not so optimism towards more rate cuts this month because the Fed said we are going to cut the rates if based on economic data, and let's see how inflation evolves. So I think that these things trigger the FUD amongst the retail, but the thing that happened yesterday was a huge amount of liquidations. And that's something that I wanted to talk about because I talk about that in the video that I will release in my Spanish channel tonight, 9 p.m. Hong Kong, Libertarian BTC ESP, because my friends were asking me why Bitcoin price is dropping. Why is 112? Why it's over and what's going to happen? And what happens is that there was this kind of liquidation, and the liquidation happened when people are over leveraged. So one of the tactics that degens use the leverage to maximize the gains when an investment goes up. So most of the people were thinking that Bitcoin probably could go up, and they use the leverage. For example, if you trade 1,000 US dollars, and if the return is 10%, you get 100 US dollars. But if you have 1,000 US dollars and you get a leverage of 10, you play with 10K US dollars. If one is yours, 9K are borrowed. And if you get a 10% gain, your final balance is 11K minus the 9K that you borrow, you get 2K of profit. The thing is that if the prices goes down, you get liquidated and you lose money. So I think that this happened on the market. This happens when there are a lot of long leverage positions. The market is weak. It's not based on a strong basis, a strong foundation, fundamentals. I don't know how to say in English, but that's what happened this week. What I also heard that there are a lot of long positions leverage in the range of 107 and 109. So probably analysts says that price can go as down as this level, but most of them analyze or agree that when the price that the liquidated gets like clean all this leverage position, Bitcoin's gonna go up and can reach 125 easily. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe we have a local bottom, although it's not confirmed. Yeah, I was just talking about that in my live stream just before I hop onto this live stream with you, Fernando. So I was looking at the chart and there's like a rising channel forming. So I told my community about 111K, so 111K as the potential support level, and looks like we're bouncing back rather well. Though, okay, we bounced from 111 to 113, like a little over 113. Looks like we have like hourly candles close about that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. So maybe we have found a local bottom, but like nothing is certain for Bitcoin. As I always say, uh, even if we lose that as support, it's not the end of the day. We still have the 50-week moving average as support. So um, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking maybe now that we're towards the end of September, maybe the last week of September, or even carry to all the way to the first week of October, we might have like consolidation period or even like a slight dip. I wouldn't be surprised because that's what we saw in 2024 as well. So we'll see.
Yes, but on the other side, and let me look for the tweet that I made in the morning, in Hong Kong morning, by the way. So let me look because I have the information here. And as all the people are panicking and all the people are in FUD because of a dip, by the way, it's a 4% dip. It's not like 20%. If you have been long enough in Bitcoin and in crypto in general, you might know that a 4% in one day is nothing. So it's nothing to be scared. And when while people is scaring and probably panic selling, the whales keep buying. Strategy bought 96 million on Bitcoin. Metaplanet made their biggest single bot in a day, that they bought around 5,000 Bitcoin and they spent 632 million US dollars on Bitcoin. Stripe spent 675, Metaplanet was 632 million in Bitcoin. Stripe spent 675 million, plus they bought Sembler Scientific, that was another Bitcoin treasury company that had around 5,000 Bitcoin so far. And Capital B, the French company, the first ever European company adopting a Bitcoin treasury company, has bought $62.2 million in Bitcoin. So, well, I don't know why people is this FUD sentiment when the big whales are buying.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And even if you go to the FOB that we have this morning, well, I saw the news this morning because my community tagged me, is that one of the Fed member, he's just like a voting member. He's not like okay, he has a say when it comes to the rate cuts or how many rates, like um the percentage wise of the rate cut. He does have a say because he has the voting right, but he's not like a main guy. It's not like the huge guy. And yet, when I saw the FUD news, it was shared by Coin Bureau, by the way, and that was the first thing I looked at when I opened my eyes this morning. So when my community tagged me, okay, is something towards the end, so the rate cuts is no longer happening. I honestly I did not know about this guy until I did my I do hours of research before hopping on to the live stream. So this guy, his name is Rafal Bostic. Okay, he's not a random guy. He's one of the 12 regional Fed Reserve Bank president in the US. So he has a say, but he is not the top boss. He Okay, so how the US, like how the Fed works is that they're like main a few parts of the Fed. So there's like the board of governance, there are like 7 members, very long term, appointed by the president. So Jerome Powell is the chair. And then there's like 12 regional banks. This guy is just like one of the 12 regional banks. So whenever there's like a FOMC meeting to vote that how many rate cuts to happen, he's like being rotated. So like when I saw the FUD this morning, like Coin Bureau used the picture of Jerome Powell, so he kind of make it seems like Jerome Powell said such thing, but that's not entirely true. It's just like one of the regional banks. In this case, it's Bostic. He leads the Atlanta Fed, like District Number 6. He gets a voting right, so he said something. I mean, I'm not against what he said because I believe everyone has the right to say what they believe. But like, I don't completely agree with him. I think a rate cut is necessary. So all I'm saying is that there's no reason to feel panic in the market. Mostly, okay, after I learned about the news, mostly it's just thought and a lot of other, I would say, more mainstream social accounts, mainstream news account, don't even know about this thought. So it's not like, it's like a nothing burger, I would say.
Yes, no, I usually like people. I think that the biggest sentiment that people has have now is that most of the people, there is no reason to be fat. I will show later something, but there is no reason. But I think that most of the people, with all the hype that was spoken last year, related to the strategic Bitcoin reserve, the US adopting Bitcoin, and all these news that were uh, out after Trump won the presidency, most of the people probably they were thinking that now the Bitcoin price would be around 300K, 500K or something, because I saw many analysts telling, yes, probably we will reach 500K by September, August, October. And these over expectations are now being only in 112 or 113 is a little bit of frustrating for them, but that's why is the FAD. But as I said, there are no signs that Bitcoin is stopping. There are no signs that, even though if you think about this as a 4-year cycle, I think that there is no sign that we reach the top of this cycle. I don't know. I'm sure that you have listened me telling many times that I think that the 4-year cycle are over. So we are gonna see more of these liquidations, but going up. Um, Again, I think that the FUD is not rational. I think that, and again, I think that this we are ready to go more higher. And the point is that Bitcoin is becoming voting. That's the point. We are not going to have these crazy ups and crazy downs. We are going to be most of the time in this sideways movement before jumping to another level, like in the atomic level with the quantum levels. So sorry for talking about my nerd stuff, but I think that Bitcoin is going to jump like this. So, and it's not my theory. Are theories that I listen from other people that are smarter than me. So there is no way to be in FUD. So that's the point.
Yeah, exactly. Because you mentioned the 4-year cycle. I know this is a very controversial topic because we have different opinions here. You think the 4-year cycle is dead? I think it's still intact. But like one thing we have in common is that okay, we have different views on the 4-year cycle, but both the 4-year cycle, like both you think the cycle is still valid or not, everything is pointing towards we are like heading a new high in Q4 because Q4 usually the best time for crypto. I think we're gonna see an all-time high in Q4, consistently breaking new all-time high. I'm eyeing like October or even November, maybe stress that a little bit, maybe carry on to December if I'm really bullish. But like the best, like we haven't seen the best yet, in my opinion.
Yes, same here. I think that we haven't seen the best. I always tell people Bitcoin is cheap now. It's super cheap. We are still early. There is no reason to be scared. Again, And if you were thinking that we were going to be in 1 million now, it is what it is. We are going to be in 1 million someday, but Bitcoin, as I always said, is not a get rich quick scheme, is a get super wealthy slow game. So that's the Bitcoin thing. So let me share last thing before we finish. And that's why I say why there is no reason to be in fear or to have fun. So this is the Bitcoin chart in the past day, the 1 day chart. We see that it's moving sideways. Yes, it started in. We are a little bit higher than yesterday, but let's say it's the same. If we go the 5 day chart, oh yes, probably we can see. Oh, it's crashing. Bitcoin is dying. It went from 117 to 112. 5 days. If we do 1 month, almost sideways, probably a little bit drop. If you do 3 months, we see up but sideways. If you do 6 months, you can start seeing the trend. Okay? 6 months ago, we were in 88,000 per coin. Now we are 113,000 per coin. Year to date, we started the year with 93, and we are in 112. 1 year, now we can see the power of Bitcoin. 1 year ago, Bitcoin was being traded at 64,000 US dollars. We haven't even reached the previous all-time high of 72. So, and now we are in 113.008. 5 year time, the trend is this. And if we do the whole history of Bitcoin, we see that we are going up nonstop. And this is the monthly, the monthly. I'm not a big, but the weekly. We can do the weekly candles. We can do the. Well, I'm not good doing the charts because I'm not the daily candles. So that's the point. What I want to say with this sharing this graphic is, when in doubt, zoom out. When you are in doubt, when you are in fear, when you have FUD, zoom out. You cannot measure the Bitcoin potential, the Bitcoin strength, just for 1 day dip of 4%, or a quarter dip, or even a year dip. You need to look at the big picture and see how high Bitcoin is going. Probably we are not going to see anymore this jump of 1000x in 1 year, but Bitcoin is going up forever.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you because some traditional people would like get gold versus BTC because I have met some, especially older demographics. They have a really traditional mindset and they are very 100% pro gold. They would make fun of BTC, especially year to date. Gold keeps breaking new all-time high. Gold is doing at least 40% year to date, while Bitcoin is only up 20% year to date. But like again, if you zoom out to 5 years or even 10 years, gold is really outperforming. BTC is really outperforming gold. So yeah, it's just like when you're in doubt, just zoom out.
Yes, when in doubt, zoom out. And let me do one thing more. I'm looking for a post that I shared that is in Spanish. Here, let me share. It's in Spanish. I will translate it because you point the goal, and I want to show this. So it says the guy, this Gustavo Martinez says, "Dear Bitcoiner, in only 1 month, gold has reached a capitalization equivalent to the capitalization of Bitcoin in 15 years. So it means that gold, gold reached the same capitalization that gold reached in 1 day. Bitcoin took 15 years. And I said, this is totally biased. This is another chapter of all the bullshit we need to read on social media. Let's put in perspective how long we use gold. As you said at the beginning, we use gold for centuries. And how long we use Bitcoin? 15 years. And let's do a projection and then we talk. And now we compare the capitalization of ETF. Gold ETF capitalization is 117,000 million US dollars. Bitcoin ETF capitalization is 130,000 million US dollars. And ETF, gold ETF, is been around for 20 years. Bitcoin ETF is been around for 22 years. And Bitcoin ETF is been around for from 1.6, 1 year and a half. So that's the power. So when someone come here and talk about gold based on biased numbers, analyzing short term, we put the long term and we compare different. We try to make them compare with the same rule, with the same scale. If we measure them with the same scale, that probably is the ETF, we can see that Bitcoin is much, much, much better than gold. The only difference is that we have gold for centuries. So that's the point. And as I always say, the only thing that gold, the only use of gold is to explain Bitcoin to boomers. That's the point. That's the only point. So that's my only take. So Gemmy, anything else to add?
I think we have covered most of that for this week.
Yes, I think we have covered everything. Nothing that there was not so much information besides this dip. And so we are ready to wait for the typhoon. Let's see what happens.
Yes. Let's see what happens. Finger crossed.
Finger crossed. I think nothing is going to happen, but let's be. To be honest, since I moved to Hong Kong, I never experienced a big typhoon. So even though there was some signal 8, signal 10, was just a hard wind and rain. But now let's see what happened. Have you got enough food, enough water, enough wine?
Yes. Yes. Wine, certainly. I got loads of wine, many bottles in my fridge. Yes, food, everything should be all right. Like, oh, I would say like the worst typhoon I've experienced in my whole life is 2018. I'm not sure if you were in
Mangkut.
Hong Kong
No,
back then.
I was living in Thailand, but I remember that everyone was talking about this typhoon, and this they say that this is gonna be bigger. So let's see.
Yes, I
Even
mean,
even my mom sent me a message, a WhatsApp, because she was watching the news in Argentina, and in the news they were talking about this typhoon. So, but I have already updated. So let's see what happens. So stay safe, Gemmy. Stay at home, drink wine, and keep creating the amazing content that you create for everyone. And talking about your amazing content, tell us your social media.
yes, so my YouTube channel is Crypto. My Twitter handle is _IO. And then my Instagram is also Crypto.
Excellent. Gemmy, see you next week.
See you
Again,
next week.
take care and thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine. So thank you very much to everyone who is on the other side. If you like the episode, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and share to the people, our social media, our X, the Bitcoin double underscore, our YouTube in English, Libertarian BTC, our YouTube in Spanish, Libertarian BTC ESP, our Instagram, the Bitcoin Libertarian, our Patreon, the Bitcoin Libertarian. Share this episode with the people you love. Share this episode with the people you hate, because we must reach 8 billion people and onboard them on Bitcoin. Stay humble, stack sats, and remember, we are all Satoshi.